Hello, good morning. Happy Saturday. My name is Meghan Maes, and this is Being Civil in Minnesota. I come here every Saturday to talk about legal issues impacting individuals and families in the state of Minnesota. I am a licensed attorney. This does not constitute legal advice, nor do I agree to be your lawyer. I like to do this because I think there's a lot of great information out there, and I think there's a lot of misinformation. I want to make sure that people get access to the right information. Working with an attorney. It can be a little bit intimidating if you've never worked with an attorney before. You see them on TV, and they're always so very serious, and but they're also human. And when you are going through a transition in your life, you need to make sure that you have the right fit for you, representing you. And when you find that right fit, how do you maximize working with your attorney? So I've come up with some tips on how to effectively work with your family law attorney to achieve the best outcome possible for you and your family. Be honest with your attorney. There's not much that you can say or do that hasn't, at least in my experience, that I haven't heard or seen. Kind of like Allstate, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two, right? So provide complete, factually accurate information. Hey, good morning. When working with a family law attorney, you want to make sure that they have accurate information so that they can zealously advocate for you and assess your situation accurately. Hiding information always leads to problems. Hey, good morning, Melissa. So fun. And then when you're honest with them, you can share any concerns or fears that you have. Creating sort of that open space where you can talk with your lawyer very, good morning. So what else you can do is you can be organized and not get distracted by people saying good morning in the comments like I do. Having a agenda for when you meet with your attorney, having your documents ready. Well, what kind of documents would you possibly need? Financial records, school records, medical records. Not all of that is going to be required in each and every case, but you should know your situation well enough to know what kind of, if it's a financial case, right? The other parent is not financially supporting them or is withholding financial support. That's going to be more financial related documents. And bring those documents in chronological order, preferably, and separated by bank, perhaps. The less time and energy that an attorney has to take organizing your documents means that they can utilize that time analyzing, research, evaluating. Clarifying your goals and expectations. There can be many reasons why people end up needing to hire a family law attorney. Sometimes those goals are, I want this done quickly. That's a very, very common goal. I have safety concerns, immediate safety concerns. That's a very different goal. I want this to be, as collaborative and not adversarial as possible. Another different goal. So whatever your hopes and goals are, you need to express them to your attorney. If they don't know what your goals are, they certainly can't help you reach them. And they also can't tell you the likelihood of success. There are certain things that attorneys have to do. We have to follow the rules of court, and there are certain rules, not all of which I agree with. I'm not necessarily a rule follower by birth. I kind of just want to know what the lines are so that I can go in and color every inch of that space. I don't like to be told what to do necessarily. But if you don't express those thoughts and goals, then your attorney is not going to be able to help you. Stay in touch. Ask questions. Questions related to your legal case. As much as you and this lawyer are likely going to spend a significant amount of time together and you're going to create a very close relationship, this is a person that is there for your legal interests. And in my experience, I work with a lot of victims, and so there's obviously a lot of trauma involved with experiencing those situations. And so empathy, common mutual respect, but you also have to understand that that is a job that lawyer has to do. And so making sure that you understand what your role is as the client and their role as the lawyer is. They dictate how the case is presented to a court, but you get to decide what happens to your case. You get to decide, I want to settle, I don't want to settle. I'd like a judge to decide. Follow your attorney's advice. That is a great tip. And it's very easy for a lawyer to say, this is what I would advise. And then in real life, it's not always as easy to walk that line when you're dealing with somebody who you may have some traumatic experiences with. But stay calm, stay collected. You want to be the most reasonable person in the room. And if you are dealing with somebody who has abusive tendencies, their goal is going to be to rattle you, right? And so you want to make sure you're the reasonable person in the room. Be prepared. Be prepared for your meetings with your lawyer. Be prepared for court. You want to make sure that you are dressed appropriately. I'm not going to tell you exactly what that means, but no cleave, perhaps, would be a good barometer. So you want to be punctual, arrive early. Managing your budget and costs. If you're working with a lawyer that you've hired to do a service, think of it like a massage therapist. If you set aside, I say, I want a 60-minute massage, you'll get there on time, you'll get your 60 minutes, and then you'll pay for your bill. If you have a pain in your shoulder later on that week, you can't just run into your massage therapist's office and be like, oh, could you just rub it real quick for 5 minutes, right? That's not how services work. So you want to make sure that you know what you're spending your money on and that you stick within that budget. A lawyer should be able to give you an idea roughly how many hours they think certain tasks will take, and you should be able to count on that estimate to be mildly accurate, but you have a say in how much time in addition goes into those hours. If you're sending emails every few minutes, then you're not going to stay within that budget. Please be patient. Patience is not my strong suit. My husband will tell you that. What frustrates me, though, is there's sometimes nothing I can do about it. And that is especially true in cases involving power and control dynamics. One thing that does time and time again overly successful in those cases is to let the other person fail in front of the judge. Courts want to give people benefit of the doubt. You got to let them fail in front of the judge, and sometimes that takes time. And if doing it quickly is your goal, then you're going to have to balance that out with, somebody with abusive tendencies is going to be able to behave themselves for 3 months, 4 months, if that's the longer the court case takes. So sometimes you want to be strategic, sometimes you want to be patient. It's like working out. You're not going to get immediate results all the time. Stick with it. Follow your lawyer's advice. Be the most reasonable person in the room, and good things will happen. Discuss contingencies, right? Going to trial, letting a judge decide is not the only option. There's mediation. There's negotiation discussions that can happen between the lawyers informally. There's exchanging of information. There's evaluations. There's all kinds of tools in the tool belt, and knowing what your options are can help you make a more informed decision and allow your lawyer to help you more effectively in court. So those are my tips today. I hope you guys had a great Saturday. You made my morning jumping on. I really appreciate it. Take care, everybody. Have a great rest of your Saturday, and I will see you next week.